Okay, before I start this, could you imagine what this movie would have been like if it had been directed by Zack Snyder?
Ugh. Oh god. No, I can't even think about it.
Captain America Civil War is the newest installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is also based off of the 2006-2007 storyline of the same name. Now before I get any further with this review, this is going to contain spoilers, so if you don't want your feelings hurt, then click away right now. But if you don't care about that, then well, welcome. Now in Captain America Civil War, William Hurt and his mustache pretty much tell the Avengers that people are starting to see you as vigilantes. The government is starting to see you as vigilantes as well. And Tony Stark agrees. Tony Stark pretty much says, yes, we need to be put in check. We need to have rules. We need to be told what to do. We need to have boundaries. And Captain America's like, no, we don't, because people change, the rules can change, you know, things change. And you're kind of like, well, god damn it, they're both right. But you can kind of see where they're both coming from, because, you know, Tony Stark was responsible for Ultron, and he was responsible for a lot of disaster. And whereas you can also see Captain America's side is where, you know, he was told what to do for so long, he was under the ice, you know, he was out of it for so many years, you know, he knows how corrupt people can be, he knows how corrupt S.H.I.E.L.D. can be, especially with the whole Hydra situation and what happened in the Winter Soldier. You know, he's kind of like, no, I don't want to do this, you know, I don't agree with you. Another reason that Captain America disagrees with this is because, you know, most of this movie, they're trying to take down Bucky. They want to take down the Winter Soldier, you know, because of the crimes he's committed, and that's Cap's friend. And one of the things that impressed me in this movie is you get to see who goes on whose side, and something that stood out to me is the fact that Black Widow is on Iron Man's side, you know, because she's with S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, she's always been on Captain America's side no matter what. The thing that I was worried about going into this movie is I was worried that some of the characters wouldn't have a lot of screen time or that they wouldn't have a lot of big parts. No, that's not the case. Every character in this movie had a big part in their own way. They each did something that was really cool and something that really stood out, especially the airport scene. The whole scene in that airport was literally about 20 minutes long, and it was so epic. Each character did something so cool, and I was glad to see that. I was glad to see that one character had the same amount of screen time as another character. I was glad that they weren't underused or overused. They had just enough to bring to the movie that was good. One of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this movie is because I wanted to talk about 3 characters that stood out to me in this movie. One being Black Panther. Seeing the trailers for this movie, I didn't give a shit about Black Panther. I'm just gonna say that now. I didn't give a shit about him because all it really showed him do in the trailers was running after Winter Soldier. That's all it showed him do. In this movie, oh my god, this dude is a straight up badass, okay? I'm not even lying. Seeing him in this movie, seeing what he can do, and seeing the fight scenes with him was like, oh my god, dude, you are a fucking badass. And also, what I need to mention is part of this movie was kind of a Black Panther origin story, because you see what happens to him and you see why he is after the Winter Soldier and why he's doing the things he's doing in this movie. And it was really cool to see that. The character that really stood out to me in this movie was Spider-Man. I was very, very weary going into this movie about Spider-Man because in the trailers, I'll just say he looked like shit. Basically because I'm tired of seeing an all CGI Spider-Man. In my opinion, it's like either do Spider-Man right or don't put him in a movie at all. And that's what they've done really bad with lately, is overutilizing CGI to make a Spider-Man movie. And I was so sick of that. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say this: Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man we've ever had. Plain and simple. And the third character that really stood out to me in this movie was Ant-Man. Now, I know people don't really care about Ant-Man probably, but I do. I thought Ant-Man was a great movie. If you watch my review, you know that I think it's probably one of the better Marvel movies we've had in a while. I thought it was better than Avengers 2. I thought it was better than Iron Man 2. I thought it was better than Thor and Thor 2. I thought it was better than a lot of Marvel movies that we've had lately. With that being said, I love the way Ant-Man was introduced in this movie. You know, they throw him in a van. They drive him up to Captain America. He gets out. He's like, Captain America, it's so good to finally meet you. I'm shaking your hand too long. And then he kind of like looks back at Falcon. He's like, I remember you. I just wanted to go ahead and apologize for what happened before. And, you know, Falcon's back there like, it's not going to happen again. And he calls him Tic Tac. You don't call my boy Tic Tac.
He's Ant-Man.
Yeah, he goes Giant Man in this movie. It was so cool when he did it because when he goes huge, he grabs a hold of War Machine. He's like, "This is awesome!" But yeah, he did some other stuff that I don't really want to give away for people. Yeah, there's another scene where he throws a truck at it and makes it huge and it explodes. And he's like, "Oh shit, I thought that was a water truck." I was like, Paul Rudd, you're a funny man. Aside from those three characters standing out to me in this movie, every single character did such a great job. And you can tell that they don't want to fight each other. They didn't want to hurt each other in this movie. You know, it was just kind of one of those things where, you know, they both disagreed on certain things, so this is kind of the aftermath of what happens. And now I know this movie is called Captain America Civil War, but to me this didn't feel like a Captain America movie. It felt more like an Avengers movie. Every character had just as much screen time as everybody else. You know, Captain America wasn't in it any more than what Iron Man was. Iron Man wasn't in it any more than what, you know, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and all of them, you know. My big complaints in this movie is the banter between Tony Stark and Captain America. Like, each time they argued with each other, it was the same thing. Like, there was at least 5 or 6 scenes where they argue, and it's literally the same bullshit that we heard the first time. Some of that stuff could have been cut out, as well as a lot of the movie could have been cut out. There were some boring-ass parts, I'm not gonna lie. The whole political stuff that they tried to show and shoehorn into this movie, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. It's a Captain America movie. I understand why they're showing this, but I didn't care. A lot of that could have just been cut out. Another thing that bugged me is they revealed that the Winter Soldier kills Tony Stark's parents. Yeah, Bucky Barnes kills Tony Stark's parents in this movie. I thought that was cheesy as fuck. Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought it was stupid. I thought that could have been done better. I feel like that's something that they just kind of threw in at the last second to tie in stuff with the movie and to make Tony Stark hate Captain America even more. So Captain America Civil War, have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Comment below, let me know. And another thing I need to ask you guys is, why is Scarlet Witch so hot? It bugs me. But yeah, like I said, comment below, let me know what you think about the movie. Like this, and subscribe to me. Subscribe to me right now. Thanks for watching.